Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. And here today we have, I think it was 17 or 18 Porsche Macan, and I'm going to show you how to do the front brakes in our case, and then I'm going to make another video for the rear brakes. We are replacing the rotors and pads together because, as you can see, the rotors are worn out. So this should be a complete job. In your case, I would not recommend only replacing brake pads. It also depends on how much the rotors are worn, but with these German cars you have to most of the time replace them together. So here, this is a base model Macan and it has the black calipers. There are several versions of these vehicles with different brake sets. There's one, so this one is black, there's one with silver, one with red caliper, and there was something else. I think it was some special ceramic brakes. So this is just base and it's black. Pay attention when you order these parts what kind of calipers you got here. Okay, and we're gonna start. Always get the car. Today I'm on the floor, I'm not on the lift. There's no we don't have a lift free, so I gotta do it the old school way, but you probably will end up doing this in a similar way anyway. So I'm gonna do one side where the sensor is, because that would be just the additional work would be your sensor. On the other side you will not have the sensor, so it would be a little bit easier. And this is the brake pad wear sensor right here. So let's start it. Okay, so before, this is your brake pad sensor. You can try to pull it so it's not in your way. So there's a connector here on the bleeder valve. There's a plastic connector down there that you unlock here and you twist down. Can you see this? No. Okay. It's here. You need to open this little lock thing and twist it to the left so you can open this. It needs to slide down. And there we go. So it's out here. Also remember the way how this goes. The brake pad sensor goes into the slot here, and I'm gonna pull it out when I pull the brake pads. Okay. The way these pads come out is you have these two pins right here, this one and this one, that you need to slide out in that direction. So on the side you need to hit these little pins with a chisel or a screwdriver in order to slide it out. And they have a lock on this side that there's a little lock ring. Let me try here because I have, okay, yeah, it'll come out from this side. Once you get them out of the lock, they actually will come out easily. And let's use the other screwdriver. Okay, and let's get them a little bit more. some point they should be loose. Like right now they're almost loose, but this spring system here is holding it. So if you move this spring down, you should be able to get it out. Okay, that's what they look like when they come out. This is the walk here in the back. Remember, this has to be cleaned up very thoroughly, and it has to be greased up a little bit so you can get it in a much easier way. Remember how this goes here. So this goes here, and these. And okay, the one thing that I usually do with this is I get a screwdriver in here between the pads and the rotors, because we're gonna replace them anyway. And I try to open these because you need the space to get these out. So remember, this is a 4-piston caliper, so try to get it as far as possible on one side, but then you're gonna have to do the other side too, because you have the 2 pistons on the inside. So let me open this here and here, and remember, they will try to, the ones you opened, they will try to close again. So here we go. Actually, if you do this, you may not have to use your piston tool to open these. As long as these are actually all the way out, this should be okay. Okay, they're out, and the way the pads come out, you need to pull them out in this direction. Here we go. That's the pads, and this is the sensor here that is attached to this pad right here. And let's see if we can, well, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm just going to leave it here. Or you can just pull it out and yeah, because you're getting a new one anyway. Here we go. It came out. The next thing that you can get out here is this. That's the connector. Can you see it? Yeah, that's the connector for the sensor. It's just right behind this mount where this thing was connected. That's the sensor, the old one. You need to replace these with a new one. And okay, now we need to remove the caliper out. So we replace the rotor, and we're going to have, it looks like a 19 millimeter in the back. It's these. Where is this? So let me turn. Yeah. So it's these two. You got one here, and then it's the bottom here. Those are the bolts for this caliper. And let me open them. I'm actually going to use my impact gun because it's easier to open these. Well, it's not a 19, so I think it's a 21. Let me get the other tools. So it is 21. You can see. And here we go. Very fast and easy. Take these two bolts and you remove the caliper. The caliper is aluminum or some kind of a very light metal. You leave it on the side, should be okay. And now we need to get the rotor out. And so in order to remove the caliper or the rotor, you need to release this bolt. That's a T30 Torx. There we go, it's a T30 Torx, and you got to be careful because you can twist this very easily and kind of mess it up. So sometimes you have to lock this wheel, because sometimes you will not be able to get it out right away. Yeah, I need to lock this wheel. I used to use a drill to do this because it was faster, or a ratchet. Let me lock this. Yep, just be careful in the back here. You can lock it here to the structure here, so you're not on the other side, because you have the ABS sensor attached to the bearing. You may screw it up. And here, I'm gonna try it. Here we go. It came out, and you get it out. Don't lose that bolt. And now the rotor should be coming out. If not, you may have to use a hammer sometimes to hit it right here in this area to release it. So I just got it out. I used a bigger hammer and just hit it here, and it got released. Problem is the rust in the back. Is this rust here that glues the rotor right here. So you may want to clean this with a metal brush, then put anti-seize here. I need to see if I can find the anti-seize lubricant. If not, I'm just gonna clean it and try to install it. So guys, we have the rotor here that needs to go first, and we got, this is the rotors we bought Zimmerman rotors with OEM. The manufacturer for the OEM parts is ATE for this vehicle, so these are supposed to be OEM, and the rear rotors are actually supposed to be OEM also. The only difference is just the front ones are Zimmerman, but these are one of the best rotors that I've ever used, and I recommend them highly. I've never had problems with these rotors. These are made in Germany, as you can see. No joke, very, very high quality stuff. It's the same as the OEM, or if not even better. And Zimmerman is actually OEM manufacturer for Porsche, Audi, Volkswagen, a bunch of other companies. So here's the rotor. Ventilated. It doesn't have a direction in the vents, so we're fine. You have to check sometimes with the directional ventilation, and you always check to see if these rotors are the same, because somebody could have made a mistake, the system could be wrong or whatever. So there we go, you got this. Be careful with the surface on these. Don't hit it, don't mess it up, don't scratch it. And I managed to clean this a little bit. I couldn't find my anti-seize lubricant, but it is highly recommended if you want your rotors not to stick, to smudge that whole space there with anti-seize. In our case, I couldn't find it. I have to finish this job, so I'm gonna keep going with this. I kind of just lightly smudge this with some grease, very lightly, so it helps me to install the rotor. And to keep it away from, getting glued to these metal parts. And what we're going to do now is we're going to install it. And again, be aware of the bolt here. It's on the bottom on our case. And right here. So okay. In order to get it tight, same way, you need to lock the rotor from moving. I think usually the torque on these is about 8 to 10 Newton meters, so it's not a whole lot. It's just enough to hold the rotor, but you won't get it opened after this is installed. And something is a little bit off here. I'll try to get it again. It's not getting all the way in. I think it's because of that rust. Yeah, I actually used the hammer a little bit here to get it in, because the rust that I couldn't clean completely is not letting this rotor in, but it's okay. You can just hit it a little bit in your case. And here we go. It's tight. This is good to go. It's this distance here that you will see between the hub and the rotor. If it's opened, you need to get it in so it's not twisted. I mean, after you install the wheel, you'll get it in anyway, but this bolt will not be straight when you do it, so you have to do it right now to get everything back to where it's supposed to be. So this is on this side. Now we need to install the caliper. If you remember these, you need to hit these with a metal brush so they go back to the chrome surface of what this is supposed to be. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to install these. So this is what they're supposed to look like when you get them through the metal brush. As you can see, they're almost brand new. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to smudge them a little bit with just some normal grease. I mean, lightly, just kind of just make him, I want to make him kind of slicky or slick, so that I can install him easier. You don't need to put a lot of grease, you just need to make him sticky. Slick or slippery, so they can go in. And you're ready. Always clean your gloves, especially after you use grease. You don't want none of that grease ending up on this brake or on these brakes anywhere. So now we need to get the caliper back in, and what we need to do is we need to get it back in. Remember these two bolts, the 21mm. So we're gonna just slide this back in. There we go. You can start these by hand because you need to get them in. And now I'm going to use my impact gun. It's not recommended because you can break these. I'll just get them installed, and then I'll use another wrench to torque him. So I'll torque him. I believe they should be about, these probably would be around 80 to 90 Newton meters. I actually just did the torquing. I will let you know. I will add the torque specification in the description, And once you do these, you are ready to go to install the brake pads. Let me get the brake pads here. So this is the sensor that you need. Brake pad wear sensor, Techstar, just normal sensor. That's the part number here. On this specific vehicle, you also need to check yours in order to make sure that you're getting the correct parts. Do not trust my part numbers because this is related to this specific vehicle. So I'm gonna install this. Remember, back here you have this little connector here. You just plug it, you install it in the slot up, and then you twist it to the right to lock in the little hole here. And actually, hold on, you probably didn't see that. So this will, let me try to get this. Okay, so it opens to the left and it slides down, and that's the connector here. It's simple plug and play connector, and you slide it with this thing to the left here with the little notch to the left, and you slide it here, and then you twist it to the right to lock it. And once it locks in here, it's ready to go. And again, this sensor would go on the inside here, and it will lock here. It may be actually better to not install the way this yet, because when you're installing the brake pad, you may need the space to pull this sensor to install it in the brake pad. So I'll leave it alone here and not install it completely yet. But you saw the procedure. So next thing is brake pads. These are the brake pads we're getting, AT, like I told you. That's OEM, and I can't tell where these are made because they have a bunch of stickers on top of them. They're usually made either in Germany or the Czech Republic, but anyway, those are the brake pads. And here is one specific thing that you need to pay attention. You have these brake pads that one goes inside, one goes the other side. Sometimes they tell you in and out. In this case, we don't have in and out, but we have this little thing here, very important thing. We have a direction. You see this arrow? That's a direction. That means that's the direction of driving. So in our case, it would be up. So you're gonna have to install, and before you install, you have to pull this back in here, this glue. So you install this going, this would be our inside part, and that's what we need to install the actual sensor to. So I'm going to install the sensor always with the fat part inside on this little slot here, and it clips right away. You just slide in and already clipped, and we will get it inside here. The only thing is the sticky part may give you a little trouble, but it should be okay. Don't get it too far in, because you may not be able to get the metal parts or the metal shims through. And here's you need to pay attention to the other part. The other pad needs to be up. In our case, this pad is up, this is down, so that's the wrong pad. And the right pad would be this, because it has the direction going up with the two holes on the outside. So we're gonna take the sticker out, and we're going to install this inside very easily, slowly. And we stop here right where the mounting shims are. You can put this sensor in here. And now the biggest, most refined part of this job is installing these shims. You need to install this here. get it first through here, and then get it through here, and then get it through here, and then we're gonna do the bottom one also. You gotta push the bottom part, and you gotta push this part here. So you need to use a hammer to get through this. The lock, once this lock passes through, you're inside and you're good to go. So okay, this is in and this is in. Just double check, and it's inside, and you can tell that it's locked by the little, you can see the tip of this guide through the hole here. It's all the way through. So this is where the pads are inside. Everything is fine here. So the only thing is you need to finish the brake pad sensor that you install on the side. Again, you install on the side, on the left side. You twist it to the left, you go in, and now you twist it to the right to lock the thing in on the top here. The only thing left is you need to close this loop here to lock it so that the brake pad sensor is where it's supposed to be. Always check after yourself, but this is pretty much the whole job, and I'm going to install the wheel now. So the driver's side would be easier because it's actually 95% the same job, with the difference is that you don't have a sensor there. You don't have the brake pad wear sensor on the left side, on the driver's side. So this is what the front brake pad and rotor brake job would be on this Macan, and this is the whole job. I hope you guys get some brake jobs done, and you get the help that you need with this video. And stay tuned for the rear brakes. Actually, guys, it looks like the driver's side also has a brake pad wear sensor here. I just replaced this on the driver's side, but the procedure is the same as on the passenger side as I just showed you. So it's the same brake pad sensor. It goes in here, connects, and the same thing. You get it out, you get the brake caliper out, install the rotor, install the caliper back, and the brake pad. So it's pretty simple, as you can see, or as I just showed you in the rest of the video. So this car has brake pad wear sensor on each wheel. Just keep in mind when you order these. Okay, and this concludes the front brake pad, the front brake service, rotors and brake pads. Okay, front brake service on this 18 Porsche Macan. Thanks for watching. Please like and please subscribe. Thank you. See you in the next video.